If you're in the market for tires and rims, I'm going to show you how to buy, where to buy, how to choose, and what I chose. We'll go over how to size wheels correctly and how to avoid some pitfalls from companies like American Muscle. Hola! I'm a fan, but I did not get my tires from American Muscle. I tried. Oh, how I tried. I did buy the rims from them, and you can get good deals, but some stuff is overpriced or just a bad value. We'll talk about that shortly, along with how to decide what rims to get and how to wade through the morass of tire options. Before we discuss what to buy, let's quickly go over the specs for rims and tires. When buying rims, the easiest thing to do is to get the same size that came with your car. And that's what I recommend. For the rest of this video, I will be entertaining you. Just kidding. Measuring rims. My stock wheels are 19 by 8.5. What that means is the rim diameter is 19 inches, and the rim width from here to here is 8.5 inches. The last measurement to know is the offset. This is the distance from the center of the wheel to the face of the hub. This can be positive or negative. Positive will move the wheel closer to the hub, and negative will move it further out. Measuring tires. This tire is a 245/45 R19V. The V is a speed rating, in this case 149 miles an hour. 19 is the diameter of the tire bead. R means it's a radial, but all car tires are radials now, except for vintage cars. 245 is the width of the tire, sidewall to sidewall in millimeters, and 45 is the magic number here. This is the sidewall height measured in a percentage of the width. So 45% of 245 is 110 millimeters, or 4.3 inches. The bolt pattern is important to know. Mine is 5 by 4.5, which means it has 5 lugs, and the diameter of the star is 4.5 inches. I know that because I looked it up. I know enough about math that I don't want to calculate the diameter of 5 points. Now for the fun part. I went from 19-inch rims to 20. And I didn't want to change the geometry, which can affect your steering and your speedometer. If I went to a 245/45/20, it would change the diameter of the outside of the tire by what you would expect, 1 inch. So when I think I'm going 70, I'm actually going 73. How do I know? There's a website for that. I like this one I found at Tacoma World. It even does a cute little graphic showing the size difference. But a few miles an hour is not a big deal. It doesn't matter if the cop gives me a ticket for 100 or 103. I'm still going to fight it in court! Large diameters can understeer and affect the alignment. Also, the larger wheels just might not fit. They could hit the wheel wells or suspension parts. So I used the calculator to determine that I needed to go from 45s to 35s. Specifically 255/35s in the front and 275/35s in the back. I know you math geniuses are jumping up and down and pointing at the screen and yelling that the diameters are not the same. And they're not. The fronts are a ½ inch less than the backs. And for what it's worth, the backs are an 1/8 inch smaller than stock. Let's talk about tread. If you're like my family, this is a fun Thanksgiving topic. Winter tires have deeper, wider, and more jagged tread than regular tires, allowing it to pick up and hold snow. The secret to snow tire traction is it coats itself with snow, and snow sticks to snow. They have a sipe pattern, which increases traction on ice and snow. Winter tires are usually directional because of the sipes and the tread pattern, meaning they can only go in one direction and used on one side of the car. Winter tires are much better than all seasons in the snow. However, they are much worse on dry roads. And above 50 degrees, the rubber in the snow tires gets really soft, like bubble gum. Unless you live in very northern climates and deal with snow-covered roads for extended periods at a time, a second set of tires is impractical. Directional performance tires are better in wet or dry conditions. The V-shaped tread pushes water outward better than symmetric tires. They handle better at high speeds. Most race and sports cars run with directional tires, but they have a premium price and a shorter tread life. Summer tires have a sticky tread compound designed to prevent hydroplaning in heavy rain. They are great for cornering, quick acceleration, and braking, which is why I bought them. Not so much for driving like a maniac, but because they are just plain safer. All-season tires in a nutshell are a balance between summer and winter tires. They are softer than the winters and harder than the summers. The tread will hold enough snow as to make driving in the occasional bad weather bearable. They are moderate on wet surfaces. Usually the tread is symmetric.
Symmetrical is weird.
So they can be rotated for extended life. In unpredictable weather climates, all seasons are the way to go. Asymmetric means they are different on the inside and the outside. The outer tread blocks provide traction during cornering, better ride comfort, and dry grip. The inner tread grooves disperse water, and the inner grooves are designed to dissipate heat, provide stability and control on wet roads. They sometimes even have different rubber compounds, as these Yokohamas do. The outside has a wide rib block for grip and durability, and the inner block is soft and sticky for traction in wet conditions. I'm going to talk about why you shouldn't buy tires from American Muscle shortly, but first, let me explain how I chose my rims.
I was planning on buying rims for my Lexus. Discount Tire has a large selection and good filters. I found a nice 5-spoke with a red line I thought was pretty cool, and they even have a feature that lets you see it on the car. This was the wheel I was going to buy. Then one day shortly after that, while walking my dog, I came across this car that had my rims. Aside from associating my rims with this not a Lexus, I also got a good look at them, IRL, and I didn't like them. They were a lot flatter than I thought they would be. Quite boring. But then my daughter wrecked her car, I gave her the Lexus, I bought the Mustang, and let's continue. The point is, I highly recommend looking around for rims on a car that you like, IRL. Then you'll have a reference for when you shop online. My references are the classic Krager SS and the Bullet American Racing Torque Thrust. You'll find this style all over the internet, even Walmart. But I needed 19-inch rims, which turned out to not be common. I found that American Muscle had 20-inch rims, which worked, and they had a style with rivets which I thought were amazing. Although I went back and forth on whether to get the staggered setup, the staggered saved me a few $100 because the 10-inch rims were on sale. They make it really easy to add tires, and I like the idea they'd be shipped and ready to put on the Mustang. DIY. But which brand? I went down a rabbit hole. Lexani is made by Century Tire, owned by Centata Incorporated. They are designed in California and made in China, Thailand, and the U.S. Lionheart is apparently also owned by Century and are made in China or Thailand. Arturo Tires is a U.S. company, but the tires are made by Federal Corporation in Taiwan and Thailand. Falcon is owned by Sumitomo Rubber Industries and made in Osaka, Japan. So that didn't help me much. While I know almost everything we buy is made in China, I personally try to avoid a few things from there, like tires. Mickey Thompson, owned by Cooper Tires, was another option. Those are made in USA, Stowe, Ohio. There's a premium price, but who doesn't want Mickey Thompsons? The reviews on American Muscle were not much help. I think they are real, but it seems like it is flooded with a bunch of newbie goobers who review based on first impressions, which is probably true because AM encourages immediate reviews. So I jumped over to Amazon and reviewed the same Mickey Thompson tire. More IRL. It has a good overall rating, but a lot of people are complaining about the lack of traction for what is considered a race tire. So I decided to go with the Lexanis because they looked the best, and I figured for that price I could take a chance. I made my selections, they were in stock, went to checkout, and they weren't in stock. That was frustrating, but okay. The Arturos are also inexpensive. I made my selections, they were in stock, went to checkout, and they weren't in stock. Same thing with Lionheart, same thing with the Falcons. So I went through the process with Mickey Thompson's, which was $400 more than the Lexanis. Being a little concerned at this price and some reviews mentioning chunks of rubber flying off of their tires, I checked what the warranty is. AM doesn't provide a warranty, like Discount Tire might, but they have an optional protection plan for $25 a tire, which is basically roadside assistance. I already have that with my car insurance. So for $100, I'm protecting myself from basically what is getting a nail in my tire, which costs between $10 and $20 to fix, and Discount Tire will even do it for free. To top it off, TPMS and AM are $110 and you need a tool to sync them to your car for another $35. You can get TPMS on Amazon for $35 and a sync tool for $15. Ultimately, I had Discount Tire use my OEM sensors from my old wheels and replace them with stems. No extra charge. So, we got our rims. Now we need to decide on tires. I started with a list of the best tire brands. Michelin and Continental are the standout best. Otherwise, if it's on this list, it's a good brand. Cooper, Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly Springfield, and Hoosier are all the most famous American tire brands. I bought Yokohama's, a Tokyo-based company. They also have plants in the U.S. that make truck tires. Yokohama ranks number 4. Sold! I tried a few other sites like Firestone, but Discount Tire had the most options. My overall choices were restricted because of my staggered setup. Discount Tire has the good, better, best filter, which can be confusing because a best tire could have a 12,000 mile warranty and a good tire have 50,000. This is ranking tires on the latest technology and tread designs. Best tires tend to last relatively longer, and the performance holds up over the life of the tire. I checked performance tire, but most people will pick all season. Then adjust the price range and compare and research. I scheduled my appointment with Discount Tire to coincide with the delivery of my rims. There were no upcharges, and the service was great, except they torqued the living hell out of my lug nuts! To recap, I got rims and only rims from American Muscle. They were $1,000, which is a little on the high side, but this was the only place that had black 20-inchers with a chrome ring. The Bullet Motorsports looked good moving or standing still. The Yokohama Advan Apexes were another $1,000, but I don't regret not getting the Mickey Thompsons, as these have definitely lifted the driving experience. I've noticed a distinct tightness around turns and a sharp steering response. My takeoffs are quicker because there is less wheel spin, as they are so damn sticky. I've even driven in the rain and I felt much more confident in the stability than I did with the All Seasons.
So I have 2 sets of wheels now. The original plan was to sell the OEMs. I don't plan to drive the Mustang in bad weather, but cold, dry roads and rock-hard tires don't work either. Some of the more astute viewers may have picked up on subtle clues of where I live. The current weather here has reminded me that it's not summer all year. The city is pretty much shut down and iced over. But the Mustang is safe and sound here in the garage, with its blankie. His blankie? Her blankie? The Mustang needs a name. Give suggestions in the comments. Wait! I have a fan online right now. What is your suggestion?
Okay, I think you should name your car Mustang Sally after Uncle Jesse's Mustang in Full House because he named it Mustang Sally. He agrees.
Okay, that's the first suggestion. Got a better name? Leave a comment. While you're in there, hit subscribe. It's a tiny little thing, but it helps me so much. And you'll be notified of my upcoming videos as I continue my series on brakes. Spoiler, something tries to kill me. So I'm probably going to keep the all seasons for the winter. Although I'm going to have to replace that bald one. I think it was defective. For the rest of this video, I will be entertaining you.